This meeting is being recorded, and you'll find this evening's presentation along with that recording soon on our website, purplelinemd.com. We are also informing all attendees tonight that the use of AI-powered tools, including transcription, summarization, or other similar features, is prohibited by the Maryland Department of Transportation for all virtual meetings, such as our Microsoft Teams meeting tonight. Please be assured that this presentation will be available to view on the Purple Line website as soon as possible, along with responses to questions that are answered tonight. For those who would like a live translation, Microsoft Teams format can translate this evening's comments into a number of languages, including Spanish, Arabic, Chinese, French, and many others. Instructions for seeing live translation are being placed in the chat section of this meeting right now. We kindly ask everyone to please mute their microphones and keep their cameras off until the presentation ends and we move into our question and answer period. Catherine, a member of the Communications and Outreach team, will now relay this information to you in Spanish. Catherine?
Buenas tardes y bienvenidos. La aplicación Teams puede traducir esta reunión en vivo en varios idiomas, incluyendo el español, árabe, chino, francés, portugués y mucho más. Las instrucciones para ver las traducciones en vivo están en la sección del chat. Gracias. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Catherine. Appreciate it. The team will provide updates on the project, including completed and upcoming construction work. You'll be one of the first groups to view all of our fall progress video and see the latest photos along the alignment. We'll also take a look at recent community and business engagement, and we'll wrap up with some questions, question and answer period. We do kindly ask that you hold all questions until that question and answer period. Tonight, we're joined by Ray Biggs II, the MTA Senior Project Director, Doran Basso, the CEO of a concessionaire, Purple Line Transit Partners, Hugo Fonteroche, the Project Executive for Maryland Transit Solutions, or MTS, the project's builder, Luis Rivera, the General Manager of Purple Line Transit Operators, PLTO, myself, Chris Scruggs, the MTA Community Outreach Manager, Ricardo Gracia, MTS Construction Segment Lead, Iago Pernas, MTS Construction Segment Lead, Manuel Marino, MTS Construction Manager, and Surin Surskasoon, the MTS Design Build Systems Manager. Tonight we'll cover the segment of the Purple Line alignment that includes the following stations: the Manchester Place Station, the Long Branch Station, and the Piney Branch Road Station. And with that, please let me introduce our Senior Project Director, Ray Biggs.
Thank you, Chris, and welcome again, everyone. Good to see you again tonight. We're glad you're able to join us this evening. As you're about to see in our new Fall 2025 progress video, the momentum on the Purple Line in 2024 has evolved into a tremendous transformation throughout 2025. This video highlights some of the transformational progress across the 16-mile Purple Line alignment. And with that, I'll turn it over to Chris Stokes, who will play the video for us.
It has truly been the year of transformation for the Purple Line project. With construction now more than 80% complete, the new Purple Line tracks tell the story. We are excited to share that tracks have been installed across all of Prince George's County, with more than 75% of tracks complete across the entire project.
Along with track installation, you have likely seen many overhead catenary system poles installed this year. These poles carry the wires that power the Purple Line. At the eastern end of the project, the poles and wires are not only installed, but have already been energized, ready to power up the light rail vehicles.
Just a reminder, always assume light rail system power is on. And please be sure to avoid the Purple Line right-of-way areas. Only cross at designated areas and crosswalks, and be sure to look both ways before you cross.
Across the corridor, stations continue to progress. Canopies, benches, and art and transit installations are being added. Bronze spires in Riverdale, vibrant colors in Long Branch, and more to come. More than 20 roadway crossings that once required detours are now in their completed phase, including the complex intersection of Wayne Avenue and Fenton Street. With the tracks in place, Silver Spring residents can see the vision of a more connected community becoming reality. In Littonsville, the second operations and maintenance facility is taking shape. This building and track yard will support the light rail vehicles with an additional control and communications facility and a smaller maintenance facility located in Montgomery County. Another major milestone is the completion of blasting in Bethesda. After years of excavation, the shaft and cavern, located nearly 150 feet, or about 15 stories underground, is finished. Crews are now focused on waterproofing and concrete work, building out the cavern and elevator spaces. Perhaps most exciting during our year of transformation, dynamic testing of the Purple Line has begun. Light rail vehicles are running during nighttime hours between the Glen Ridge Operations and Maintenance Facility and New Carrollton. The vehicles and track systems undergo rigorous checks of safety, operational, and communications. With New Carrollton testing underway, it won't be long before testing expands westward along more sections of the Purple Line.
Seeing a Purple Line light rail vehicle arrive at the first of our 21 stations is an exciting reminder of the hard work and dedication all of our teams bring every day to complete this transformative project. Thank you for your support, patience, and engagement over this past year. We at Maryland's Purple Line are looking forward to coming to a station near you soon.
All right, thank you, Chris, again for playing that. Here you can see on the screen the timeline graphic with some of our upcoming major milestones, including our winter 2025 delivery date of all 28 light rail vehicles to the Glen Ridge Operations and Maintenance Facility on Veterans Parkway, and completing track installation in the spring of next year across the alignment. Though I want to highlight that all track has been installed in Prince George's County, and we are pushing towards that spring completion of all track across the alignment next spring. Tonight, you will see and hear more details about the expanded dynamic testing milestone achieved earlier this summer, and where the Purple Line will expand this dynamic testing throughout this fall and into 2026. With that, I will turn it over to Ricardo to walk us through the construction slides. So thank you, everyone, and I will see you at the end of the presentation. Over to you, Ricardo.
Thank you, Ray. All right, we're going to start on the west side of the project, on the western portal of Manchester Station. We have been continuing with the stormwater management structure on the top of the station, and the construction of the retaining walls on the outside of the station portal. Upcoming work are going to be some retaining walls on the upper area in the plaza level of the station. The last portion of the drainage and sewer utilities, and the track placement onto Wayne Avenue, the last portion of the curve. Next one, please. Right. Inside the station, we have completed the placement of concrete on the north and south platform. Also, we have been working on the station, multiple station elements, such as stair landings and masonry walls, etc. We began the construction of the track slab. Upcoming works are the more station elements especially in the roof and the access to Plymouth Street, and finishing the track slab. Inside the tunnel, there has been a lot of things completed lately. Within them are the ventilation system, the duct bank, and the wallways on the eastern portal, the anchors that will support the overhead catenary systems, the track throughout the tunnel is in progress. It's not completed. It's in progress right now, and we continue with the installation of the overhead utilities through the tunnel. Upcoming work is the completion of the overhead catenary system and the track installation throughout the tunnel. In Arles Street, we have completed all the walls along Arles Street and Long Branch apartments. We continue working on the curbs and sidewalks on Arles Street between Garland and Piney Branch, and we are continuing working on the concrete track slabs. Coming up, we have the opening of the intersection at Arles Street and the shopping center, installing the remaining OCS poles and overhead wires, finish the curb and sidewalks along Arles Street, and the construction of a wall right at the end in the corner of Arles Street and Piney Branch. In Long Branch Station, we have completed the platforms and the canopies installation, and also finished the embedded tracks throughout the station. Next upcoming work is some more finishes on the station elements, the installation of the systems that will run the trains, and some poles and the catenary system. I pass it to you, Iago.
Thank you, Ricardo. This is Piney Branch Road. The most recent work is related to the completion of the stormwater system. We also completed the installation of the curb and new sidewalks. We completed the track and the OCS pole installation, and more recently the new entrance for the Long Branch Community Center, including the new sign we can see in the picture. Months ago, we also completed the intersection of Piney Branch Road with Garland Avenue, and also the Long Branch stream restoration. As upcoming work, the plan we have here is to complete the final paving. The target is to try to make this happen before the end of the year. However, this operation is linked to the temperatures. If we don't have temperatures at the end of the year, this is gonna happen first thing in the new year, right after winter. In addition to that, we are gonna complete the new intersection, the new signalized intersection between Greenwood Avenue and Piney Branch Road, and we are gonna complete the installation of the OCS wire and systems in parallel with the installation of all the roadway signage in this road. Now Ricardo is gonna talk to you again about the upcoming traffic switches in this area.
Thank you, Iago. So as of September 2022, we did the shutdown of the south side of Sligo intersection, which means the Sligo Parkway remains temporarily closed between Wayne Avenue and Piney Branch. The expected time frame for this closure is 2 months, so that means we will be opening on or around November 22nd, and the trail remains open, and the vehicles are being detoured by Piney Branch. Well, I think that's the next slide. Sorry. Yes, exactly. Sorry. The vehicles here that needs to go to Piney Branch, they are being detoured through Manchester Road, and the vehicles that need to go from Piney to Sligo are being detoured through Flower Avenue back into Wayne Avenue and Sligo Parkway going north. As I was saying, this closure is expected to last 2 months. So far, everything is going well, so we don't foresee any delays.
Thank you, Ricardo and Iago, for that detailed update on the construction throughout this segment of the alignment. Seren will now provide a systems and testing update for you all. So Seren, over to you.
Thank you, Chris. Hello, everyone. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking about our test activities, ongoing and upcoming, and what better way to start than with a short video that highlights what we've been doing so far in the area of testing.
Welcome to the Purple Line. Next stop, New Carrollton.
Great, thank you. As you can see, we have been actively testing with trains under power. Our test sections, we're currently testing in what we call our first test section. This is the area from the Beacon Heights East Pine curve to the end of the alignment on the east side at New Carrollton. And so our test sections are determined by our track interlockings and our OCS wire runs. What does this mean? Our track interlocking essentially are defined by our train control system. Our train control system essentially controls safe movement of our trains. So our first test section from New Carrollton to Beacon Heights. Second test section where testing is going to start very, very soon from Beacon Heights to the College Park UMD area. Testing, as you see in the video, testing is ongoing in section 1, and testing in section 2 is scheduled to start in the coming months. While testing is not taking place in your neighborhood yet, you can expect to hear more soon from our outreach efforts before testing begins, and we will give you ample news and information way in advance before we start testing in Europe. What to expect during testing? A major part of our test planning and our test activities is maintenance of traffic. Until the traffic control systems are operational, our maintenance of traffic, our MOT crews will control intersections in the test areas. That control will be performed by uniformed police officers, flaggers. There will be intermittent traffic stops and road closings, and we are currently implementing these measures in our first test section. Some of you may have seen some of our activities during the nighttime period. Specific maintenance of traffic protocols are developed for each test section, depending on the intersections that are there, the activities, the facilities. For example, in special MOTs will take place in the university area as well as in the busy parkway areas. Hours of testing for what we call dynamic testing with the trains going through intersections are currently happening from between the hours of 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. And this will continue through 25 and beyond. Very important note, the public should consider the section live and expect to see LRVs periodically during the testing period for each test section. What to expect from our outreach? Coordination, very, very close coordination with State Highway Administration and other involved parties. Advanced communications to our elected officials, on-site notifications using variable message signs to let the public know what's coming up, what's happening on a very, very real-time basis. In-person outreach to schools, businesses, and impacted communities. We send out public notifications to outreach lists. We post updates on our website, purplelinemd.com, and the entire planning and execution of the testing is safety focused, and we have a social media campaign that focuses on safety. Testing safety. During and after testing, the public should consider all track and OCS wire live. Expect to see LRVs periodically, day or night. Obey traffic signals. Look for LRVs when you're crossing the tracks. Use approved crosswalks only. Do not walk near or on the tracks. And first and foremost, do not stop or park on the tracks. As I mentioned, we are actively testing. Always consider the overhead catenary system, the OCS system. This is the system that carries power to the trains. It carries 1500 volts DC. Assume that the wires are live and assume that they are always dangerous, carrying electricity at all times. And that's a short synopsis on our test activities. As we get closer to testing in your areas, we will expand more and give you more information on those test activities. And I will pass it back to you, Chris.
Thank you very much, Soren. Appreciate it very much. We're just going to talk through a couple of community outreach CAT member engagement slides here and just some outreach effort recently. This year, our outreach team attended 18 events, which is 9 more than the previous year. Some recent 2025 events include the Long Branch Festival, Sligo Creek Elementary School Back to School Night, National Night Out in Silver Spring, pictured here, Bethesda Arts Festival, Rhode Island Trolley Trail Day, Crossroads Farmers Markets, Career Day at New Hampshire Estates Elementary School, and University of Maryland, Maryland Day. Planning is underway with our partners for the 2026 season for different opportunities to increase community awareness and engagement. Speaking of University of Maryland, this is a bike and scooter safety campaign that was originally rolled out on the University of Maryland campus, but is being rolled out across the alignment as we get closer to testing and opening to make everybody aware of how to cross tracks safely. So when crossing Purple Line tracks, make sure to use crosswalks, cross at a right angle perpendicular to the tracks pictured here. Do not ride parallel on the trackway as tires can get caught. And to use extra caution when the track is wet or frozen, as rail can be slippery. Over the past couple months and throughout this year, based on feedback, CAT members were contacted earlier in 2025 about continued interest in service with their CAT member relationship with the Purple Line, as well as different engagement ideas. Outreach has starting last month and continuing this month, individualized phone calls to CAT members along the alignment, and will soon reintroduce biannual CAT member listening sessions to have another opportunity and space to engage with community members. Outreach did broaden distribution efforts for this fall series of CAT meetings to include community centers, libraries, and coffee shops. And after the spring series of CAT meetings, Outreach implemented feedback from a post-CAT meeting survey, and you can expect to receive a post-CAT meeting survey, in the coming weeks. I will pass this over to Doran to talk through Beyond the Rails grants. Doran.
Thanks, Chris. Well, another way we interact with the community is through Purple Line Transit Partners Beyond the Rails Community Grant Program. And if you've been to one of these before, you know the aim of this program is to support nonprofit community organizations by providing additional funding for them to pursue their mission. We do this twice a year, and the first tranche of applications in 2025 contained a record number of applicants. We were just thrilled. They were so strong that instead of awarding the usual 6 grants, we awarded 8 this time around. You may recognize a few of our recent awardees from the list here in this nearby area. We supported Cheer and their Power in the Park event held in New Hampshire Estates Neighborhood Park. Safe Kids Worldwide, which provides education for children on pedestrian and bike safety. This summer, we held a joint event with them at the nearby Tacoma Academy, and we're kind of coordinating messaging as they're in many schools and helping children safely navigate the way to and from school. And Sligo Creek Elementary, it was great to visit. We were there a week or two ago with the PTA and the principal, providing some support to academic enrichment programs that they have going on there. So a few examples, and this is also a call for your application for any community group or initiative that you feel strongly about. The deadline for the next group of grant applications is again November 30th, and you can go to our website and use the resources drop-down tab to find Beyond the Rails for a short application. So look forward to hearing from you. And with that, I will turn it over to Ray for business engagement.
Thank you, Doran. So our Purple Line Business Relationship Manager, Leslie Leith, who's on here tonight, works with the business engagement team along the alignment, alerting them to construction impacts and providing advanced notifications in both English and Spanish. And this outreach is aimed at minimizing disruption and maximizing awareness. Additionally, our team promotes businesses on our website, our monthly newsletter, and overall our social media platforms. I invite you to visit our YouTube channel to see some of the business spotlight videos that we've recently uploaded. Additionally, the Purple Line Small Business Grant Program, which is administered by the Secretary's Office of the Maryland Department of Transportation, we launched the Small Business Grant Program and has since awarded a total of $1.5 million in 2025 to more than 140 businesses. The application period opened on yesterday, October 6th, and online applications are due by November 7, 2025 for this period. You can find more information in the application link on our website at purplelinemd.com. Again, that's at purplelinemd.com to find more information about the business grant program and more information about the Purple Line. I'll turn it back over to Chris, who will lead us through questions.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ray. This is just our contact page, which has some contact information. Should you have any questions, to contact our team. So before we start the meeting, the live question and answer session, we do want to address some questions that we received in advance of tonight's meeting. So I have them organized by section in terms of who we're going to have answer them, and so we can get the construction questions answered first. So the first question, could you please clarify the ongoing activities at the industrial site located at the corner of Arliss Street and Flower Avenue? Residents have expressed questions regarding excessive noise or dump truck traffic outside of hours. Additionally, could you please address the hours of operation and the anticipated timeline for site completion and cleanup? Manuel, are you able to answer this question?
Hey, Chris, actually is for me to answer. It's actually
I apologize,
for me to
Ricardo.
answer that question.
That's okay. Thank you.
Yes, so in that facility is a staging and stockpiling area. Okay, so the operation that happens in that facility is pretty much we bring material from excavations all over the segment. Okay, that material is mixed between asphalt and dirt mostly. And so we separate it, we clean it, we make clean and good dirt that is feasible to be reutilized in the project as backfill material. And then we separate it from the concrete and asphalt that goes to a recycling facility outside of the project. And that's the main operation. We have a couple, a few materials that are being staged over there, but for the most part, it's dirt. I think the next part of the question was until when we expected to this to stay in that configuration is until spring of 2026. Regarding the working hours, I mean, we work 7 to 5. In fact, most of the trucks leave earlier to avoid traffic. So I'm not aware of any work after hours.
Thank you, Ricardo. The second question we have is, who is responsible for monitoring all air quality around the stockpile, and how can residents be assured that the air is safe to breathe? Ray, did you say that you wanted to address some of these questions?
Yes, I wanted to add some more context to what Ricardo was saying about the stockpile area. So the site in question, as he mentioned, is part of the designated construction zone and is being used as a material processing area for the construction crews. This activity is expected to continue through the remainder of the year. While work will still be ongoing after December 31st, the intensity will gradually decrease as the project nears completion. And what Ricardo was mentioning there is the final completion is anticipated in early to mid 2026. So you'll start to see the stockpile dwindling down after the end of this year and then completely gone by spring of next year, just to add in some context there. To go to the next question on who is responsible for monitoring air quality, I believe that was the question you asked, Chris.
Correct.
There are no hazardous materials present at the site. So to mitigate dust and maintain air quality, the contractor regularly uses water trucks for dust suppression. So that's how we're maintaining the air quality in the area on that. So back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Ray. I'll just kind of move through these construction questions quickly. A couple more here. Who is responsible for trash removal and ensuring pedestrian accessibility along Arliss Street?
I think I can answer that question. We are MTS. We are responsible since that is a pathway that we created for doing the project. we have a team that does the regular maintenance of the job area, and every time they see the trash or anything, they clean it. Although we cannot monitor this trash is coming from the public, and we cannot control that. So we try to mitigate the issue, cleaning every time and as often as possible when we see the areas dirty.
Thank you, Ricardo. Last couple questions here in our advanced questions. When is Piney Branch Road scheduled for repaving?
I think this one is for me. Piney Branch is scheduled for be permanently paved before the end of the year, before the end of 2025. However, for this last lift, final lift, we need a minimum of 50 degrees. So if for whatever reason we don't have the temperatures this year, it's going to be first thing in 2026. So no later than March 2026, we should have these temperatures.
Perfect. Thank you, Iago. The next question is, when will Arliss Street be reopened to the public?
I can answer to that question. There is still a lot of construction happening in the area. So we are going to maintain the area for construction and for safety purposes and other reasons until, so that will stay under construction until mid 2026, but that area cannot be open until towards the end of 2026 due to systems installation, preparation and testing. So that's when we expect to fully opening the Arliss Street to the public, although there is now a sidewalk access. It's completely open through the street.
Thank you, Ricardo. There was a question submitted that asks, how long will Sligo Creek Parkway be closed between Wayne Avenue and Piney Branch Road? This was answered earlier in the presentation, so I'm happy to answer it again. The closure is expected to last 2 months with a target of reopening in late November. Moving down the list of our advanced questions we received, the question we have is, how will pedestrian safety be ensured when crossing the street during train operations? Will any educational materials such as videos or simulations be available for elderly residents? Luis or Scott from PLTO, are you on the call and able to answer this question?
Yes. So there is a pedestrian warning device, right, or pedestrian gates at the intersection of Walden and Arliss Streets, right? A pedestrian should wait for the warning lights to stop flashing and for the gate to actually open, right, or to be on the up position before proceeding to cross the tracks. Additionally, our expectation is that all pedestrians follow safe street crossing protocols.
Thank you, Luis. I appreciate it. I know there was a question asked before about sidewalks. I know that we do have Joe Mogis and Chrissy Contreras from Montgomery County on the call, so I do want to involve them in the conversation quickly on this. Can you provide a clear plan regarding the future of sidewalks on Plymouth Street and any measures being considered to manage or reduce traffic? Chrissy or Joe, would you like to jump in here on this one?
Go ahead and get started. Thank you all. Glad to see you all and be with you all tonight. As part of the bicycle and pedestrian priority area, that's very hard to say, a study that was done within the area with knowing that the Purple Line was coming. We've been working in a fashion from east to west to complete some sidewalk improvements within the county. This past fiscal year, fiscal 25, which spring of 25, we had meetings in the University Boulevard area. And now, most likely this coming spring, fiscal 26, we, if not before spring, we'll conduct another public information workshop to look at sidewalks in the Long Branch and Manchester Place Purple Line Station areas. These areas will include roads like Hudson Street, Reading Road, Guerin Road, Glenview, and Plymouth Street. With these sidewalks, you know, they'll have a public meeting, and it gives the public the opportunity to come in and talk about what sidewalks are needed, what sidewalks may not be needed, and just to kind of voice your opinions as to what works best for you in your community. I would also like to share, and I don't think I can share it by chat, but I'm going to share my screen real quick with our Division of Transportation Engineering. Let's see if I can share this really quickly. We have our sidewalk program website, and up here you can access it by montgomerycountymd.gov/DOT-DTE/sidewalk to access our sidewalk programs website. Right now, as we probably move forward, at least to the beginning of the year, I would encourage you not to ask questions about it right now, but as the beginning of the year comes for 2026, that'd be the time to start considering sending us messages, and so we can get some traction and really find out what sidewalks work best for the community. So that's all I've got on sidewalks right now. Hope that answers it.
Thank you, Chrissy. Very much appreciated. We
You're
have one
welcome.
last question here as advanced question, and then I'll move into a live question and answer session. The question is, what are the plans for planting native trees, along Piney Branch Road? And we have a extensive list here of native plants to Maryland. The following trees will be planted along University Boulevard and Piney Branch Road: Princeton American elms, Eastern redbuds, red maples, river birches, American sycamores, eastern red cedars, common serviceberries, staghorn sumacs, and swamp white oak trees. All the trees listed above are native to the state of Maryland and are non-invasive species, and all landscaping plans can be found on our website at purplelinemd.com. I do want to go into the live question and answer session. I know we have some questions in the chat and some hands raised. So as we move into the live question and answer session, you are able to do either of those. You can either type your question in the chat or raise your hand. So I do see Joel has you have your hand raised. So I'm going to turn this over to Joel quickly, and then we'll get into the chat with some questions. Joel, you're going to ask your question?
I figured out how to get my hand on the screen. All I had to do is do the chat and then hit raise a hand. I don't have to do this anymore.
We got you, Joel.
And, well, the question is, I know they had those pictures on the Manchester Place picture, and they only say Wayne Avenue entrance, but no Plymouth entrance. I think the old metro, they did have both Wayne Avenue entrance and the Plymouth entrance. Oh, I guess it went off. After I answered the question, the thing would go off again. Well, that's all my question. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, yes.
Yeah.
Ray, do you want to answer Joel's question?
Yes, I think Joel is referring to the entrances off Wayne Avenue and Plymouth Tunnel. So what I'll have to do is after this meeting, the team will reach out to you directly, Joel, to make sure we get that information to you. But yes, there will be entrances to get into the station there, but the specifics around the logistics and getting to it, we'll make sure we get that to you and have someone reach out to you directly, so you can understand what the final conditions are. We're getting so close to completing that piece. I see a question in the chat here of ramping up construction there, so people are getting excited about seeing what that station, the entrances will look like.
Well, I had a comment too. the meeting, the email they sent me was the wrong meeting, and I called Purple Line Outreach, see if they can fix that, but they never fixed it, and they never we delivered that new meeting for
Hey
the
Joel,
Purple Line.
I hear you. We did send you some new notifications or new links, excuse me, to your email address. So I can make sure you have those again, but we did send you an email with all the new updated links. So I apologize that kind of got lost in email, but we'll send you an updated email with all the links for the rest of the series of CAT meetings, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. I do want to go into the chat quickly. We do have some questions here from John asking about a generator running at the Arliss Street and Flower Avenue area, asking if the generator runs 24/7. Ricardo or Iago, can you answer that for us, please?
So yes, I can answer that. Yes, there is a generator in Flower Yard that is running 24/7. That generator is feeding some offices building that we need to keep energized. To mitigate any disturbance, we build an encasement that will block any noise. I've been there, and after this encasement we build, is barely noticeable the noise from the opposite side of the street. So I hope that is currently working better for the residents in the area.
Thank you, Ricardo. I apologize. I didn't scroll in the chat far enough to see the council member's question. Councilmember Honzak from the City of Tacoma Park asking about outreach to 2 different schools in the area, asking about if they could please reach out to Rolling Terrace Elementary School and Silver Spring International Middle Schools, as well as to Sligo Creek Elementary and to New Hampshire Estates. And absolutely, we do reach out to all those different schools in the area. We've reached out to Silver Spring International Middle School before, and will continue to, as well as Rolling Terrace. So I can assure you that outreach effort will continue and will be ongoing. So absolutely there. Ricardo, actually, this might be Iago, I apologize, but we have one more question from John. When will the stairs, I'm guessing this is from Flower Branch Apartments, but when will the stairs from the apartments to Arliss Street be opened?
The plan we have is to complete all the stairs in Piney Branch before the end of the year. Actually, the plan is to have all of them completed by the end of the month.
Thank you, Iago. Moving down into the chat, Annie has a question. What is the status of the top part of the Manchester Place station where the elevator is? There has been a ramping up of construction at the space. When is the top part projected to be completed? Ricardo, are you able to answer this question?
Sorry. Can you repeat it again? Sorry.
Of course. What is the status of the top part of the Manchester Place station where the elevator is? There has been a ramping up of the construction at this space. When is the top part projected to be completed?
Okay, so the status is we are working on some walls and storm drain. Upcoming works are we have to build a parking area with some sidewalks and access to the station. We also have to build some access elements into the station, such as and the roofing and the canopies. So after all that is done, we will start building the pavers in the plaza level. So we have roughly until summer 2026 for that to start looking as a finished product. Okay. pretty much for sure around the end of 2026 to be completed.
Perfect. Thank you, Ricardo. I want to move into some questions from Troy in the chat. First question is, by November, can we expect the intersection at Sligo Creek and Wayne Avenue to be completely open to pedestrians and bikers? Ricardo, are you able to answer that question? I know the notification, the closure is for 2 months, but I'll let you jump.
It is currently open for pedestrians and bikers. In fact, I use it regularly as both. So by November, also answering the question, it is also expected to be open also to vehicles by the end of November towards Thanksgiving.
Ricardo, I'm going to ask you to answer a couple more here. Troy's second question is, when will the stoplight at Manchester Road and Wayne Avenue become live?
Spring 2026.
Spring 2026. Okay, thank you. One more thing here. Okay, I see a question here from Brett. During the winter, are the tracks heated? How will freezing temperatures affect operations? Will snow have to be hauled away? Is that a question I can have? Go ahead, Ricardo, I apologize.
No, I was going to pass that questions to somebody in the, maybe to Luis or...
Yeah, Luis, I was going to say, would you like to step in here or to Remus there?
Yeah, so no, the tracks or the rails are not heated up. Maybe Soren, can you help me out if all switches on the alignment will have heaters?
Yeah, so we go into operations, the movable parts of the tracks will be heated. They'll be heated electrically, and they will be clear of snow and ice so they can move freely. And then I'll hand the second part of the question over to you, Louis. Snow removal.
Yeah, so for operations, not that much, right? The Purple Line system was designed to handle certain weather elements, right? Certain weather conditions, which we will monitor, right, and take actions on that, like the speed, snow removal, etc. So it should not impact, but however, we will monitor, right, the weather, because there will be some weather elements that it may impact the operations. You're mute, Chris.
Oh, sorry. Wow, I'm having a technology moment. I apologize. Thank you for flagging. I was muted. I see another question here from Suzanne. Is there information on how the Manchester Place entrances and tunnels will work? Can we use the elevator between the 2 levels, even if we don't ride the train? Will the station be staffed so that people don't go into the tunnel late at night? Luis, is this something that you are able to answer here, or should I pass it to somebody else? Or Ray, maybe?
I can jump in. I think it's a combination of a lot of us having answered this one. I say let us follow up on this, but to give a more detailed answer to explain, because this is sort of building on what Joel was asking about the entrances here. And we can just provide some more detailed information with those renderings that we have already on the website that explains how everything will work. And then also the operations piece that you're asking about as far as having people around the tunnels and how that is the security and safety around the Purple Line will work.
Thank you, Ray. Spencer, I see, has a question here. When will the intersection of University Boulevard at Seek Lane be opened? I'm going to pass this to...
This is going to be for me.
Yeah, thank you, yeah.
Yeah. So this is scheduled for spring 2026. This is linked to the final paving on University Boulevard.
Thank you, Iago. I see Brett has a question. What are their design plans for the new public space being created with the realignment of the driveway at the Long Branch Community Center at Piney Branch Road?
We are gonna be adding 2 parking spaces here.
Okay. Thank you. Moving here through the
Chris,
chat.
Chris, real quick on that
Yep,
particular
Chrissy, go ahead.
question. I'll go ahead and
Absolutely.
Can you read that question one more time? I just want to make sure I heard it correctly.
Of course. What are the design plans for the new public space being created with the realignment of the driveway at the Long Branch Community Center at Piney Branch Road?
Okay, with realignment, in the area that's fronting Piney Branch Road, where the new monumental sign for the community center is, which looks great, there's some storm drainage. There's a drainage swale that's going through there currently, and that'll pretty much be green space. Up on the back of the hill, in the future, Montgomery Parks is looking to do some further improvements and tie-ins to a park, I think, that's on the backside of the hill, but at least there's no plans or anything for that at this time. But other than that, and then where Yago had mentioned the 2 parking spaces that will be added, the old entrance will be removed, and it'll pretty much all be green area through there. So I hope that helps.
Thank you, Chrissy. Appreciate it. I'm going to jump down to Suzanne had a question about the names of the stations. Suzanne is wondering when the name signs will be installed around the stations. Ricardo, Iago, Ray, maybe?
I can jump here, guys. The signs on the stations are already in fabrication. Some will be delivered this year, the others will be delivered the next year. But it's a common effort along the alignment in the different stations.
Thank you, Manuel. I appreciate it. Just moving through the chat, excuse me, before I go to a couple hands raised. We have a follow-up question from Troy about Wayne Avenue and Sligo Creek Parkway intersection. When will all corners be open? Ricardo, do you have an answer for that?
Currently we are going to maintain, only going to be disrupting one corner at a time. So both of the north corners are open, and we are always going to maintain one of the south corners. So going back into the question, when all of them are going to be open, same by Thanksgiving, that's when we are planning to open the intersection, and that includes the 4 corners.
Thank you for the clarification, Ricardo. Manuel, I'm going to jump back to you really quickly. There was a follow-up question. Annie asked a follow-up question, excuse me, about the material at Arliss and Flower being sprayed with water. Annie's asking, does anyone test the quality of the particulate matter?
Of the material, you mean?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, the material that we have stored along the alignment in general is going to be used is regular dirt that will be used for different activities along the project, basically embankment and backfills. So like we mentioned, we keep sprinkling water around the stockpiles that are already protected with all the environmental measures. But we also have our tracking sweeping going up and down through all the streets to ensure that we eliminate any potential debris in the streets.
Manuel, I apologize. Annie's asking specifically about the air quality.
For
if
the air
anyone
quality,
tests the air, excuse me.
For the air quality itself, we are testing it regularly. So our safety team, along our operation team, has different devices, and we keep control of that in every single area, especially when we have a space constraint. Where's where the air quality tend to go down.
Perfect. Sorry about the confusion there, Annie. I apologize. Thank you, Manuel. We have one last question in the chat, and then I promise I'm going into the hands raised. Greg has a question here. I'm a bike commuter using Wayne Avenue to go from Long Branch to Silver Spring Metro. When returning home to Long Branch during construction, the road crosses the tracks multiple times between Cedar and Sligo Creek Parkway, and once or twice from Sligo Creek Parkway to the tunnel. Crossing at angles does the job, but is there a general advice on when to bike on the road and when to use the sidewalk? Acknowledging that was potentially inconvenience pedestrians while respecting their right of way. I'm defaulting to road, but wanted to double check given the safety campaign. I do believe in this section of Wayne Avenue, I could be incorrect, and I'm going to pass this to a construction team member, that there are bike lanes in the final configuration, but Ricardo, I'm going to let you step in here.
Yes, there is a green trail all the way from Sligo up to Silver Spring. We highly recommend using the green trail. That's what it's made for. And currently, all the way is operational, so there shouldn't be any need to get in the roadway and the shared space with the trucks. I don't recommend getting over there because not now and not in the future. That's the purpose of the green trail, so nobody should be riding on the roadway or track. If we have to close some areas of the green trail, we usually make the crossings perpendicular to the tracks. That way it's safe for bikers. If for any reason there is a need that we need to cross, that we need to make a crossing not perpendicular to the track, we will be putting some timber in between the rails to avoid any tripping or any tire getting into the trucks.
Thank you, Ricardo. I'm going to jump into a couple hands raised here. Joel, I see you have your hand raised first, so I'll pass this to you for your question, Joel.
There you go. I got several questions. Number one, where are these funding for the Purple Line coming from? And second, I got three questions. The second question is about the fair, and I previously asked that question. And number three, if all the providers from the bus company, Metro Bus, Ride On Bus, and the University of Maryland shuttle buses, are they going to have some type of feeder buses going to the different stations? That's my three questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Joel. Ray, do you want to answer any of those questions?
Yes. So the funding is a complex question. It's a combination of federal funds, state funds, and other grants that's contributing to it, including the TIFIA loan that concessionaire has. All of that combines to make up the funding for the construction of the Purple Line and what will eventually be the operation of the Purple Line once we open up for that 30-year period. On the fare question, we're still working on that piece as far as what that policy be and what the rate will be. But how it relates to the connections to WMATA, as mentioned, we will take Smart Trip, and we are looking into one of your other questions, Joel, regarding Metro Access, and we'll be taking into consideration as that policy decision is being made. And then as far as the connections with WMATA and as you mentioned, the bus, and then also with Montgomery County's bus, those we are working closely with the counties just to see how those connections are made, but those decisions are made at those different transit agencies on what routes will remain, what routes will not remain. But we are trying to do our best to make sure that connectivity remains there, given that's the biggest thing that we're trying to do here with the Purple Lines, connect in with the systems that currently exist to make your connection and travel easier for you in the future.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Joel. Thank you, Ray. I do see one more hand raised in the chat. Angel, I apologize for for the questions coming before. We're happy to hear your question now.
Hi, thank you guys for the invite. And I think this one is more for Christina or Iago. I'm the director here at the Long Branch Community Center. So as we have stated before, we do have an issue when the school buses come through. And I think we have mentioned this at the very beginning, the parking lot that is at the very front of the entrance, the new entrance as soon as the buses are curving into the parking lot, we can say, right? We've been having such a hard time with that. So I think either my supervisor or the director for the department had a meeting with you guys, I believe it was last week, and the concern was expressed about when cars are going out and the buses are coming in, they basically almost kind of crash into each other, because if that parking space right there wouldn't be there, it wouldn't be a problem. But because those two parking spaces right there and that tree that is there, that is a problem. So it's causing a lot of problems. We get customers coming in complaining every single day, you guys should do better, because they believe that it belongs to us. Of course, we all have say you can send your concerns to the Purple Line, but that we hear that all the time since we opened the new entrance. However, the new entrance is beautiful. We like it. We love it. The new signs, everything. But that's where we're having an issue here. And we have to hear that every day.
And I understand, Katie, and that's why I called a meeting, and it was just an internal county agency meeting. And with that, we have discussed the new entrance. The Purple Line will be I've sent some comments back to MTA, and but for the most part, General Services will also be working together with Recreation to make some adjustments on one of the islands and whatnot. And they're talking about, just even, how they were configuring just that whole drive-through. But that's in discussions, and part of that's all internal to the county with how we remedy that portion. But for the Purple Line, they will be providing 2 additional parking spaces before the project closes out. So everyone is aware of it, and that's why we had the meeting the other day. So hope that helps.
Thank you, Chrissy. Thank you, Katie. Very much appreciated. I do not see any other hands raised or some questions in the chat. So this is just a gentle reminder that the outreach team and the Purple Line team is happy to take email questions for a week after the meeting, as well as whenever. But if you have any follow-up questions after this evening's meeting, please email them to outreach@purplelinemd.com by next Tuesday. October 14th. I'm going to look one last time to see if I have any hands raised here or questions in the chat. And I do not see any. So once again, if you do have follow-up questions, you're welcome to send them to us by email at outreach@purplelinemd.com. This does conclude our Long Branch CAP presentation, and we now welcome you to stay on the meeting for a few more minutes to see some truly transformational before and after pictures of this segment of the Purple Line alignment. Thank you so much for joining us this evening, and have a great night.
Thank you, Chris, and thank you, everybody.